All right, hi, Bobby Johnson, and I'm sitting here with Goran. Sometimes we call him Goran. Sometimes we call him the Swede.
The Swede.
Pronounce your last name.
Goran Gustavsson. That's my name.
If you got that. It's hard enough to spell. Anyways, he's from Sweden. He's staying with me here now. We met last year at the last Paddler Standing, and we're going to do it again this year for 2023. So this is the second annual Last Paddler Standing. It's going to be broadcasted live, so we hope you guys actually tune in. The reason this is kind of impromptu, he just found out he was going to get interviewed about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. I just started doing these videos, just trying to get people more information, I guess. And in the hopes that with this information, you'll maybe learn something, and maybe if you're new, want to come and join because it won't sound so daunting. Because there is a lot to it. It can be very intimidating to do the things we do, but if you actually just get into it or maybe dive into it,
it's fun.
You'll find it's absolutely fantastic. I would have never met this guy if it weren't for putting ourselves out there. I'm 45, he's 35, and I wish.
Really.
And so I mean, over these years of doing all these races that we do, all we do is meet new friends.
Yeah.
And
that's fantastic.
Meet like-minded people, and so here we go. Okay.
Last Paddler Standing.
Last Paddler Standing, that's right. All right, give us just a brief history of your SUP career, if you will.
My SUP career started because I went to the Canaries surfing quite a lot, and I find out they say 2010 they start to make pretty good ice SUPs or inflatable SUPs that you can use a little bit of surf. I mean, it's not this perfect surfboard, but it's a perfect combination between surfboard, paddling, playing around with your kids.
So you go way back into the sport.
Yeah, but that was more recreation or playing around with the kids when they were young and they could use it. I used it surfing, and that's how I started.
Okay. And how did you get into this kind of distance paddling?
The distance paddling, I want to do. There's a channel going through Sweden called Göta Kanal. It's handmade, most of it, and there's a couple of lakes and all that. I don't want to cross that one. Okay. It's about 180 kilometers paddling. Okay. So I find out that Red Paddle make a pretty good, Voyager or whatever excursion board. And
Red Paddle?
Red Paddle, yeah, sorry mate. So I wanted to do that on the board. So that's how I started. Okay. And I get quite good sponsorship with a company in Sweden called Kayactiv, really well known for good quality kayaks, SUPs, paddles and that sort of stuff.
Is supping bigger over in Sweden than it is in the USA?
Oh no way. Okay. No way. So I thought I want to compete. I mean, I'm a former competitor as a swimmer, surf lifesaver or lifeguard. So I want to try out to compete. Mm-hmm. And I was useless on the sprints and turning the buoys. And
buoy turns.
Yeah, buoy turns and that sort of stuff.
They're not easy.
No. And I, because of my age, 35 years old, it's it's hard to practice. No, 55. I'm actually turning 55 next weekend.
Yes.
So we should tell the truth here in this story. There's a famous race that pretty much everyone knows. It's called SUP 11 City. 220 kilometers in Holland. You're going through towns and all that. So I wanted to try that.
It sounds like if you do that race, you're like somebody. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went down there 2017, and I find out that I was an endurance paddler.
Yeah.
I was pretty much paddling the same speed that I do when I do sprints. I can't go faster. I just had pretty much one speed.
Isn't it weird that in our brains that we find it easier to do a 180 kilometer race over an 8 mile race?
Yeah. because an 8-mile race, you have to
Put it all out.
You have to put it all out.
Yes.
It feels like your breath is just gonna burst, aching all over your body. I mean, obviously you ache after the Alabama 650, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're doing it all at once.
No.
It's a really dumb way to think.
Yeah.
It really is. So.
But at the same time, I just love, because it seems like my brain just go away. It's just relaxing me.
Yes.
It's just, you go into a flow, you go into different stages that you think I'm gonna quit.
But nothing else matters except for the world you're in.
Yeah.
You don't even think about that anymore.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
So you like, there's me and the board and the paddle, and I learned from, I think it was Bart, one of the good paddlers around the world, and he has said to me, put the paddle in the water. Put the paddle in the water. Even if you're tired, make another stroke.
Yeah.
Make another stroke. And one of a sudden you come to another rhythm, and the tiredness or fatigueness is just gone.
Yeah. Other windows open that are beautiful.
Yeah.
Or windows and doors.
Yeah.
In the mind.
In the mind.
And
So I just continued with the SUP 11 City for a couple of years. Did the non-stop and the 5 days.
Now the SUP 11 City, is it, you say it's a tour, are you guys racing each other?
Yeah, that's the good thing with that one. I just love it because it's like this.
Okay,
event.
are you starting with a bunch of other people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a race.
It's a race, but it's more than a race because it's different stages. So you stay on boats at night, and then you have the next stage.
Oh, so it's a stage race.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a stage
That's
race.
nice.
Or you can do it non-stop.
So you get to stop and then regroup with everybody, hang out. So it's kind of a social event also.
I mean, some people have a beer, some people have some wine,
Yeah.
some people go to sleep.
That's
because
the
they
beauty
wanna-
of
they
the
wanna
last
rest.
power stand.
Yeah.
All right. So what else happened?
Yeah.
What else did you do?
And then obviously the Yukon River Quest. I've done it twice.
And that's 450 miles.
Yeah,
Yes.
750 kilometers for all the Europeans.
At the top of the world.
At the top of the world, fantastic. We talked about you meeting people. I wouldn't have gone to that part of Holland if it wasn't because of SUP 11 City.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably never have went to Yukon if it hasn't been for the paddling.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It starts opening up those windows, opening up those doors to everything else.
and it's just a fantastic place, Yukon.
Did you travel a lot before this?
Yeah, I've been traveling.
You seem like you're a traveler.
Yeah,
You
am
seem
a traveler.
very comfortable in other places.
Yeah, I love other places, and I just love to hear other people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has something to tell.
People open up better to strangers than their own family and friends.
Yeah, they
Yes.
do.
Absolutely.
So it's like a bond between. It doesn't. I don't think it would. I mean, if you're a kayak paddler, or if you're a SUP paddler, or if you're an outrigger paddler, it's just
And you're really good at documenting your adventures. Like you put everything online, all your pictures and the people you meet.
I try to do my best because first of all, I mean, I like to get some sponsor because this is not. I mean, after a while, it's not cheap. I mean, this year I went to Canada. I went to SUP 11 City. I go to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go to the Alabama 650, but I was a bit fatigued. But then again, the money wise, it's just
It's costly.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I learned.
And the Alabama 650, Greg Wingo, does not have a SUP division that pays.
Yeah.
It's one of the only races really that pays out. So I mean, I guess there are a few others.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we do have that actually pays out to. If you win, you have to be first place, but you don't get that in SUP.
No.
You only get that in the kayak, male, solo, and tandem. So.
But the things that I achieved from paddling, you can't buy it with money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the friendship between you and me from last year.
Sure.
I mean, you can't go and buy that.
Absolutely.
So.
And then what you learn about yourself.
Yeah, as well.
All right, so You have this hat here.
You start.
And when did they start to sponsor you?
Last year, me and Per is a Swedish company, and he's more or less the boards he makes is for endurance paddling, and he do hard boards and inflatable boards. So more or less you can pick a board for your adventure or your race that suits you.
Yeah, I'm hoping more and more places come out, or these companies come out with stuff for endurance.
Yeah.
You know,
And
everything catered to it.
That's Per's goal to do that, and he want to have my advice and a couple of other guys and girls' advice, like how should we do the board,
Right.
and he really listened to us
Because it's a growing sport.
Yeah.
You know, and this is one of the reasons of doing this. I mean, I don't know how many people we're going to end up reaching, but if we can just reach one more, you know, and get them involved, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So we actually have a friend that we've talked into coming down, or I've talked into coming down to this race, who was a triathlete, Ironman kind of guy. And I said, well, what do you have to lose? You know, you're looking for something new. Here's a paddleboard, and I still need to give him the paddle. But he's in, and I think he's going to have a fantastic time, and I hope he falls into something else because of it. So.
And I mean, you can do so much more else. I mean, Florida, you don't get much snow here, but obviously I'm from Sweden, and I just love cross-country skiing. And it's pretty much the same muscles. We have a famous cross-country ski race, 90 kilometers in March, I think, March. And one year I did it, and the only training I did was on a SUP.
Oh, interesting. Well, you bet you've already done some other races before that?
Yeah, I've done.
So your mind's...
Yeah, so it's more like a mind thing, but you're still using your core muscles and the mind. So
this kind of falls into you finding out about the Yukon 450 River Quest. How did you hear about this race?
I can't remember.
And what made you want to do it?
Last year, because it was one-off, it was the first time.
Okay.
I'm going to go, first time I want to, go.
And you don't remember how you heard about it?
There must be social media, obviously. I mean, how much, on the weekend, you're going to see how many people we're going to reach.
I'm sure Greg put it out too.
I think Greg put it out.
Of sub places as he could.
Yeah, and I just heard about it, and I said, okay, that's it. That's what I want to do.
Did you train
for it?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we don't train.
I mean, I had the same venue last year as this year, so I did the Yukon River Quest in the summer.
Okay.
And then I did...
what month?
June, end of June.
I guess it'd have to be either June or July because...
Yeah, otherwise it's pitch dark.
That's right. And it's snowing.
Yeah, it's snowing.
Yeah.
And then I did 11 cities, and then I went to Florida. So I got...
When is 11 cities?
September.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was supposed to put another race into this year. It was the Alabama 650. And why I wanted to do that is because no one else has finished it on the
So we're talking about last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to...
We'll get to this year.
We'll get to this year. But right now we're talking about last year.
Yeah.
So between 11 cities and last Power Standing, did you train?
I train. I do something every day.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you seem like an active person.
It doesn't have to be a SUP.
That's right.
So, and it can be mountain biking. It can be a long walk. I think walking is especially...
The more on your feet, the better.
Yeah.
The more balancing, anything like that.
Yeah, and if you go for a long walk for 2 hours, it's the same mind as when you paddle long distance.
Okay.
It's like you go into rhythm. You have your thoughts. Like one of a sudden you're thinking about that. You're thinking about that, and
right.
Then it's good. So walking, and then obviously my background as a swimmer. I try to swim at least twice or 3 times a week, around 3,000
And that's working those lats and the back muscles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And recover. From the other things I do.
Right. What were you expecting? I mean, let's just real quick. Let's give this everybody some background on the last Power Standing. It's down in Sarasota, Florida. We're in Florida right now, so it's an hour away from us. Not that even matters, but we're on a lake. the lake was actually specially designed for sculling, which is rowing, which is big money rowing.
Yeah.
So the lake is actually designed not to be wavy. So it's kind of a perfect venue for like a neutral place.
Yeah.
So the every year, if we keep doing this every year, you know, when it comes to records or distance of how people get there, you're kind of being just compared to the conditions they say, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be really affected by wind, and that year, the last year when we did it, we were fortunate. But anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to start at a start finish line, and the race starts at 9 a.m. and you're going to paddle 3.33 miles around the outer edge of this lake, and then come around the big tower that is the observation tower for the sculling and racing. You're going to come back around, and you're going to end back at the start finish line. And then at 10 o'clock, every hour on the hour, you have to restart and do 3.33 miles for 48 hours straight if you can last that long. It's either if someone, it's going to go down to two people, two paddlers, and if one quits, the other one wins. Kind of. So if you are able to complete the loop in 45 minutes, that means you have a 15-minute window of rest, and you can eat, choose whatever you want to go to sleep, whatever you want to do in that 15 minutes. But you have to be at the start-finish line on the hour, every single hour, until someone quits. So, knowing that you had to do 3.33 miles every hour on the hour, what were you expecting?
When are you going to send this? Before the race or after the race? This year? No, I mean, I went in.
You don't have to share anything you want to share.
No, I went in as there was an endurance race, like I'm going to paddle 220 kilometers, or I'm going to paddle 715 kilometers, like in Yukon, like long distance.
Okay.
That's how I prepared myself in the head.
Right. Because if you do 48 hours at 3.33 miles an hour, you're at 160 miles.
Yeah. But this it's not like that.
No, it's not.
I find that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Luckily, I eat too much last year because like when you do that, and especially if you're at Yukon where there's no
we'll get
food.
into that. Well, I'm just thinking, what were you expecting? Like, there's only 15 racers. You know, it's a 3.33 mile loop. I mean, really, it's just, you know, what are your thoughts going up into this race?
Well, first of all, I went to Florida last year to win it.
Right.
That was my first.
There you go.
Yeah. And that's the same time this year as well. I mean, I'm not trying to Florida to do one lap or 5 laps. My goal is to win.
Okay. All right.
Well,
So this is what
Yeah.
you're going to next week.
Yeah.
What board did you use?
Last year I used the red paddle, the 14 by 27, and this year I have a Uster 14 by 25.
And then
Inflatable.
Inflatable board. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of inflatable boards last year.
Last year was a lot of inflatable boards, and I think this race,
Just to let you know, an inflatable board won last year.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what
happened after 48 hours? You forgot to tell you that.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. So, what were your first impressions of the place?
Just a long stretch, and I thought, Jesus, that's a long way up there till we're gonna.
Yeah, it does seem far.
Yeah,
it does.
But like all the other races, I mean, Greg did a fantastic job last year. I think he was. I don't know if Greg get nervous, but I think he was a bit tense. You know, the first time he runs the race, there's a lot of things organizing, and that stadium you have to book and you have to pay as well.
Sure.
I think I know that Greg wants to, like, everyone's going to be happy.
Well, he wants to put on a show.
Yeah. And I think he's succeeded last year.
Oh yeah, he definitely succeeded.
I mean, especially with the live broadcast, and we went out there last year and we just had a fantastic time.
Yes.
Yes, you know, one lap you were talking, you and I was talking. Next lap, I didn't talk to anyone, maybe.
Sure. We'll get there. We'll get there. You're jumping. You're
Oh,
jumping.
yeah.
I get you. You're excited. All right. So take us through Friday night. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? How was your sleep?
If I say this, maybe I put people off a little bit.
It's okay.
But I find out that if you really want to do well in races, counting, you're going to do it twice. The first time is a bit of a lesson.
Okay.
The next time, you know. So last year for me, I was running around like usually. Should I buy some water? Should I freeze the water? Where can I find a cooler box, a chair, and a tent? And you know, you're running around doing stupid stuff and losing a lot of energy, sleep, for nothing.
So it sounds like you're feeling a little bit anxious.
Yeah. And you're thinking like, oh, did I forget that, or do I need that, or what happened?
And you're coming from another country.
And I'm coming from another country. And
Yeah.
Me and Anne-Marie, a good friend that did the Yukon River last year as well, we did the same thing. We ended up in Whitehorse. We were running around, you know. But this year at Yukon,
Yeah, I mean, you're at a massive disadvantage. When you don't live here. So and you're flying in, and you've got to get everything prepared because you can't carry everything on the plane.
No.
So I mean, there's some people that go into these races. They have a cooler and a chair and a box of crackers, and there's other people who have everything.
Yeah.
So did you have a crew? Do you feel?
I talked my cousin in to fly from Los Angeles down here, and that was fantastic because I mean I don't see him that often, and he loved it.
Do you feel like you need a crew?
No.
Okay. So you feel like you can just do it without a crew?
Yeah. But it's helpful.
That's what
I mean, I think the winner last year didn't actually have a crew.
Paulo does not have a crew.
No, Paulo didn't have a crew.
I mean, he kind of had some people helping him, but
But he didn't have a dedicated.
That guy was nonstop.
Yeah.
He was just moving.
Yeah.
I never saw him sitting down or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he is only 150 pounds, I think. I so that kind of goes back to this next question. Did you actually feel prepared?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So got your little things done.
I was prepared.
If there wasn't 5 o'clock in jobs, you know, the end of the day, you know, those end of the day deadlines, a lot of things wouldn't get done.
Yeah.
It's amazing what we can get done in such a short amount of time.
So I was prepared. It was, you know, but I'm gonna do a couple of things different this year.
Right.
Hope we probably get to that.
Yeah, so the first day is pretty Friday, you know, you're just kind of setting up, whatever, people have tents, some people don't, getting to know each other, meet and greet, and then Friday night at 7 o'clock, Greg has a race meeting, and I mean, it's just pretty basic, you're just going over race stuff, and he shows you some trophies, and gets you kind of excited, and checks you in, and blah, blah,
And
blah.
last year was pretty funny, I remember that, because I hate people that put music in their ears.
Okay.
Because I go to the events to race, but have a bit of social time as well.
Sure.
And I remember some of you, but I can't remember if it was you, but some of them.
We love busting Greg's chops.
And when Greg said like, I'm not going to allow any headphones in your ears, and someone was like, what?
Yeah.
What are we going to do for the? And Greg said, end of discussion.
End
End of discussion.
His way or the highway.
Yeah. This is my event and my rule, and I think it's a fantastic.
I think
it's great rule.
Yes.
I mean, supping, we can't really hurt each other, but I mean, you can see bikers. You know, they can't hear a car. They can't. You know, so I think it's quite.
Yeah, you're real safe on. He says it's for safety, which I just laugh about.
Yeah.
Because really, what's going to happen?
But I think.
I guess
I think it's a good idea.
Now it could be for safety. Say I had headphones in, and you're behind me, and I don't know, you fall off and an alligator eats you. I wouldn't hear it. So,
then you're probably going to be glad because then you're going to beat me.
Well, you know, there's always a way to beat somebody.
I remember that. You know, some of the faces was on.
Well, you know, I've been.
But I think the most of them, if they think back and say, think it had been a completely different event if they had the headphones on. They hadn't met that many people.
Mm-hmm.
There hadn't been this social event that it became.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be this weekend as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so it's race day. All right. Take us through the start. Take us through getting on. You're waking up in the morning. You're getting on the board. Greg says go. You know, what was that like? What was that feeling like? The feeling amongst the racers. What was the course like? And what should people expect?
I mean, the start is really relaxed. We lined up. We knew everyone knew the rules. There's no stress.
It was pretty relaxed.
Yeah. There was no stress. I mean, if you've been paddling, you know it's, what is it,
3 miles.
3 miles, 5.3 kilometers. If you've been paddling a little bit or practice a little bit, you know,
that's going to be an easy loop.
That's going to be an easy
and
loop.
it's the first one.
Yeah,
so it's going to be.
Yeah. So it's no rush that you have to be, in front of
and
the
it was
pack.
calm.
Yeah.
It was very calm.
It was
waters.
really, and we have, it seemed like everyone just walked down to the water.
Yeah.
Jumped on the board, sat on the knees, get a little bit comfortable, stood up, and just took,
Yeah, if someone was nervous, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, what is? And I've done this stuff so many times. Like, how's this gonna go?
Yeah.
And of course, I'm not a supper either.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. You guys are all professionals, and I'm just a brand new guy. So I was feeling a little funny, but So it's all about.
I mean, if you compare to say, I think we went to the third day at SUP 11 City, the start line. I think the river or the where it's paddling is what can it be?
Is it like
15 meters wide.
Like a canal?
It's a canal, and it's about 15 meters wide.
Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine like when only 15 paddlers stops.
Yeah.
Their waves, and the thing is in the canals in Holland, the sides. So a 15 meter. First you got the shot from the board, and then the shot goes up on the wall, and then comes
reverbs
back.
In.
So it's like that,
Yeah.
Or you have Yukon River where the starting line is. We have to run in Yukon first, but when you get to the board and you jump on the board, you can't make any mistake because you can't paddle back because of the current.
Oh yeah.
So you have to,
5 mile an hour current. Right?
Yeah. So, but this one was you walk down. There's about 20 meters to the first buoy turn. It's a bit gradual.
Nice sandy beach to start on.
Nice sandy beach to start off, and it's like all of us was like a big ship. It was like took it easy around.
Yeah.
And then you have the long stretch towards
the bottom of the lake.
Bottom of the lake.
Yeah, the southern part of the lake.
Yeah. So we're going from north to south, and it's just a long stretch. I don't know how long it is. Well, yeah, whatever. It's just, and you can see it all the time.
Maybe 3/4 of a mile.
3/4. Yeah. But everyone just sussed out a little bit, and we start to learn. Start to talk to each other a little bit. Some people knew each other from before, so you start to, what do you call it? Like socialize a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you didn't go straight in and say, are you married, or you start, how.
I spoke to no one on that first loop.
Yeah.
I was up front.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is everybody so far behind? No, I'm like, why is everybody so far behind me? I'm like, I'm not supposed to be a SUP paddler. I'm like, okay, maybe they just have a different strategy than I do. So, and that's
really just is a. I mean, the race is like that. It's a quarter. What do you call it? Like a square.
Like a rectangle.
A rectangle.
Yeah.
It's like a rectangle
with an oval at the top.
Yeah.
Or a half.
So you go up, you turn to your left, you turn to the left, and then you go into a little bit of a channel, turning around that big tower, and you come back.
Yeah, 3.33 miles.
And
does it feel like 3.33 miles?
No.
I mean, we did 3.33 miles the other day.
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
I mean, totally different.
Kind of felt long.
Yeah, it felt long.
We were going in the wind too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it seems to go by really fast.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe, but a lot of races do. The miles seem to go faster in races than in practice, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I go training and I think, like, I can't believe I was paddling 750 kilometers, and you know, it's like, but I think your mind is just decided that this is a race day, and that's a training day.
Yes.
Race day, training.
Yeah, there is a separation.
Yeah.
What did you have you ever been in any kind of races that have the coverage that they have?
No.
What did you think of that?
No, I think it was fantastic. I wish it could be a little
Explain them what we're talking about.
No, yeah, the live coverage was, two people on the beach all the time, and sometimes they were even in the water, and they had the iPhones on and coverage all the time, and people could ask questions like how we were doing, and people could cheer us on, right on it.
And then there was a guy
there was a guy in Australia to organize it, and I think there was like you had all the names there, and
they had the stats and everything.
Yeah, and when anyone dropped out, the name disappeared, and the names just so.
You get a coin that says "No longer standing," which Greg's son made.
Oh, that's
which is really cool.
I forgot that. I wonder where's my coin.
I have one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have one as well.
Yeah. For sure.
No. So the coverage was fantastic, and
on Facebook Live, and then that ended. They had problems with it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it went to YouTube. I don't know if it's YouTube Live or what. I guess it would be YouTube Live.
And I think we did it as well because we were open for interviews or we were pretty open like how we felt.
Yeah, so you come into the finish and you could either immediately go back and sit down with your crew and do whatever you're going to do with your crew, or you could go and sit down and talk in the microphone. And just kind of talk to all the people and say hi to some friends and family.
And I think that was people liked as well. And the good thing is people didn't have to sit in front of the computer all the time because they knew that we started at 10 o'clock. Okay, so they saw the start, and then they knew we're going to get in about 20 to 11 or quarter to 11, something like that. So they could, do other stuff, put the ground, because they knew like, it's quarter to 11 now. So I put the computer on and
But my brother up in Georgia was following the race, and he's like, I'm in my garage and I'm working on my motorcycles, and I've got it playing in the background, and he's like, once you started to like kind of get, I'm kind of getting tired. All of a sudden, you guys are all coming in, and then you're like back into the action, and then you think like, there's no way I'm going to listen to this thing for 48 hours or however long the race is going to go for. But what people found out was they did. They couldn't get enough of it. We didn't obviously get to experience it, but they did, and everybody I talked to just said they absolutely loved it. And I think that's what made this race just so popular.
I mean, I like you. I mean, we spoke quite a lot. I was working as a substitute teacher in the spring, and I think there was a 12-year-old kid come up to me, talking in the school and said, and I think I went to that school for a week, so we get a little bit more, each other. And then one day he come to school and said, my mum saw you on TV. And I didn't know the kid before, and obviously I didn't know the mom, but apparently she's been watching us paddling a lot.
So she follows you?
No, she is a friend on Facebook with a friend of mine.
Okay.
So my friend was watching probably, and that's how it's,
it just branches out.
It just branches out.
Something else.
that she all of a sudden she's like, oh, what's this thing? What it is? And this kid coming up, oh, my mum watched it. So yeah,
it's neat. All right, so first night. Are you a night paddler?
I'm a night paddler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
A lot of people are now.
No.
So.
I know that, and that's why if you never paddle at night and you want to experience it, I think Last Paddle Stand is perfect for you.
Well, all ultra paddling races are. If you want to experience nighttime, you're going to experience it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you are a bit where
this is a controlled environment. Though.
Yeah.
It does. Make you feel. I will say I was shocked at how remote it did feel sometimes. Like even though I-75 is a major interstate that goes right by the park.
But I felt like you had a lot of paddlers around you. There was about 25 meters to the shoreline all the time, and you knew that after 45 minutes you're going to get into, the base camp, if we call it like that. I mean, when you
think there was that first night? 8 paddlers left, maybe? I don't know exact numbers, so
I can't remember now.
It had to have been 8 to 10. Yeah, we started with about 15.
Or close to 20, or some
No,
dropped out.
it was not 20. I heard a lot of people did not show up, but this year is different. All right, so
no, I'm a night paddler. I love it. I don't have any. The only problem I have if people have the light facing backwards.
Yes.
I hate that.
Yes, because you're expected. You have to have a light on your board, whether it's on your person or on the board. You have to be attached by your leash, or you have to have a life preserver with a leash. So there are some rules to the race. Obviously, well, there's more than some. But, all right, so the first night, I was there too, so it was pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
Nobody's hallucinating. Everybody seemed to get through the first night pretty well.
Yeah.
I'd say. So, all right, so, but there are those twilight, those just before dusk, those last couple hours where you're just like, okay, I'm ready for
asleep. Or what?
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yeah, could be sleep too. But that's exactly.
You're ready. I mean,
that's what you're going
after
through.
a while, you feel like, okay.
Yeah.
Now we've done this. I want to have some warmth and sunshine.
Right. Here's usually what takes place at nighttime when you're paddling. The sun goes down. Okay. And you're like, okay, I have 12 hours approximately before the sun comes back up. What you're hoping for is that you get to midnight. At least this is how I perceive it. I want to get to midnight because I know once I get to midnight, now I'm just counting down the hours until the sun comes back up. Because when the sun comes up, life comes back into your body. It is if you are going to do this ultra paddling, whether it's supping or whether it's doing some other kayak race or canoe race, you want to get to dusk. Or dawn, dawn. Because you want that sun to come back up. So.
And like you said, I mean, if you do a race where it's pouring down with rain, I mean, I remember last year. I mean, the sunset was absolutely beautiful. So I mean, you have maybe 2 hours or 3 hours of paddling, where it's actually beautiful. It's fantastic. The sun starts to getting a little bit.
And we had a fireworks show that night.
And then we had a fireworks.
They put on a fireworks show for the first weekend of the
weekend or Christmas, and that's the same in the morning. You start to so it's completely different. This is a grey day. I mean, we had a beautiful sunrise as well.
Absolutely.
You start to see, look at this, like you said about the dawn.
The moon coming out at night. It was a beautiful weather.
Yeah,
very nice. 80-degree weather. 60s, high 60s at night. I mean, it was gorgeous. How are you feeling on Sunday?
Sunday went through, during the day. I put my head down in the ice bucket a couple of times because it was quite warm.
Yeah, it did get hot. Yeah. Shirts were coming off, for sure.
And then you come into this, that first of all, I had too much food, and then after when you do these long distance races, I mean, after a while, the food tastes the same.
It's hard to get down.
It doesn't. It's hard to get down, and a Mars bar tastes pretty much the same as a Bounty. Nearly. You know, everything you put in your mouth.
But then other times there is some food that people give you that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So there were definitely stories of people were having seriously hard times, and then someone gave them something that they didn't have,
different,
and then it changed them.
Yeah.
So what's the mood? What's the environment like on Sunday?
During the day.
Yeah, during the day.
No,
we're in the daytime now.
The daytime Sunday. I think it just went pretty quick.
Yeah.
More people dropped off, and then I think it was the only 5 of us left.
5 of us left. Yes.
There was 5 of us left.
But that happened pretty early on Sunday.
Maybe early morning. I think
pretty. Yeah. We were 5 strong for a long time.
Yeah. I think there was a couple of people that their goal was to paddle 24 hours.
One night. That's right. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you can do with Last Paddle Standing.
Yeah.
You can set your own goal. If you feel like, okay, I'm not going to go to Last Paddle Standing because I'm not going to win it. But you can set, this year my goal is to paddle overnight because I've never done that.
That's a hefty goal.
Yeah. or you can say, I never paddle 12 hours. I'm going to paddle.
That's a hefty goal.
Or I'm going to beat my best friend that he did or she did 20 laps last year, and I want to beat her or him. So you can set a little bit of your own goals.
And every time you set a parameter, it's always hard to get to that parameter.
Yeah.
So it's always tough, no matter what.
Yeah.
Mostly when you're on a paddle.
No, it was hot. Sunday was hot. I had too much food. It felt like my the food was up here all the time.
Were you concerned about Sunday night? When you're going into the 48 hours?
No.
You're just kind of looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, we were paddling. I think for me it started 8, 9 o'clock. Because I think...
What started?
The thoughts that when do we going to stop?
Yeah, when is it kind of going to be over?
Yeah, and I think it started around 8 o'clock. I think I stopped at 1. That must be 40, because I did 40 hours. 40 hours. I think it was 1 o'clock.
See, the thing about this race is, you don't know who. There's no finish line.
No.
And the fact is that 3.33 miles is achievable. However, that ends at 48 hours. I'm sorry, at 49 hours.
Yeah.
So when you get through 48 hours of racing, 3.33 miles, now you're going into 9 o'clock Monday morning, and you have to do a 5-mile loop within an hour.
8 kilometers.
That is
roughly.
That is not easy to do. Now there are some guys. I thought Paulo was able to do it. I thought Alex was able to do it. It's not easy to do 5 miles an hour on a paddleboard. So and
then one of a sudden the wind
came up also.
Yeah, but I mean, if the wind factor,
if it gets windy,
because 5.3 kilometers or 3.3, there has to be a lot of wind to be affecting us top ones. But I mean, when it comes to 8 kilometers,
3.33 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So when it comes to 8 kilometers an hour or 5 miles an hour, even a 5 mile an hour wind is going to affect you massively.
Yeah.
So you have this in your mind as you're paddling from that first night into that second night, and you're just thinking, okay, well, if I can't do 5 miles an hour, why am I going to keep doing this to myself? So it kind of starts getting easier and easier to say, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to put myself out of this pain and misery, if that's what you're going through, or it might be easier just to say, okay, I've done enough. I'm proud of myself, and I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
So there's a serious battle that happens that second night.
Yeah.
Because you're about to go to battle physically at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday.
Yeah.
So it can really mess with a lot of paddlers, and that really puts a lot of paddlers out. Now, this year, We have 34 paddlers. Congrats, Greg, starting this race.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are plenty of paddlers that can do 5 miles an hour. And there's a lot of us that have been training to do 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So.
And prepared for it.
Yeah, and prepared for it. Okay, so we just kind of, my next question is what should people actually expect on the second night? But we kind of went through that.
Yeah.
So, are you concerned that, you know, is it, when you say your nutrition started affecting you, and at 1 o'clock in the morning you decided, but was it just your nutrition, or was it the fact that you had to go to 5 miles an hour?
I didn't think about the 5 miles an hour. There was the body. The body just had it.
Yeah.
Uh,
The 5 miles an hour.
The food, the chest pain, the pain in the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, like, you know, when do I stop? You know, when?
Anybody who gets into that second night has achieved quite a lot. So, all right. So we'll get to that. I know what you're thinking, because I feel the same way, man. All right. Take us through those. I mean, you kind of already, you know, touched it on a little bit, but take us through those 5 months of that lap on Sunday night when you decided to. I mean, I'm just going to put it bluntly. You quit.
No, yeah.
Right. What? I mean, we're not people who like to quit.
No.
So it takes a lot for us to actually quit.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Why did you quit? I mean, truly, why? You've had a lot of time to think about. Why do you think you quit?
The funny thing is with human people that we forgot all the boring stuff and remember all the good stuff. And I quit after 40 hours. And I don't know why.
I quit at 41 or 2. Yeah, right there.
I think I did 2 more. and if, I will be honest with you, I don't know why. Except that, like, my body was just fatigued.
Yeah.
I remember that. But I don't know.
All of our bodies are fatigued.
Yeah.
Right? It's a brutal sport.
Yeah.
Mostly when you're going that long.
Yeah. But the final decision, I don't know. I let my cousin down a little bit. He flew all the way from
I don't think you let it. I mean, you gave the guy a great party almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got to meet a lot of new people. I'm surprised he's not back this year. All right. I can't remember, did you quit before you went out on your next lap, or did you quit on the loop?
No, that's the strange thing though. We finished the 40th lap and I walked straight up to Greg and said I'm quitting.
Okay.
And that's another thing, I don't know why I did that.
Right.
Because at least I don't know, we still had 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes, you know, so I don't know.
Yeah, so you could maybe ate something, take a little break.
I think I just, because I mean, obviously I didn't think of quitting on the 39th lap or the 40th lap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously it started, graduated, maybe at the third, I can't remember now. Let's say it started at 35.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all talked a little bit
we
about
all
it as well.
There was a lot of talk that night.
Yeah, we talked a lot about it as well. You know, everyone was just like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I think
it was a battle in all of our minds.
And maybe there was a little bit of I get struck by the psychologically between you guys, and because all of us, I think we said like, 40, and maybe that's stuck.
Well, there was a lot of talk with us too about, okay, who can actually do 5 miles an hour at 49 loops?
Yeah.
And our thoughts were Paulo and Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of came to that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, here's the problem though. Yeah, we won't even get into that part.
Yeah.
All right, so.
But hopefully Alex had the alarm watch on this time.
What's it called?
Alarm clock.
Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I'm just going to ask you this question. I mean, I already kind of know the answer to it. How did you feel after you made the decision?
Terrible.
Yeah. How'd you make yourself feel better?
I helped out to commentate.
Yes, you were great at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you went on like a marathon with that, right?
Because even that I quit, I was in a hype.
Yeah.
You know.
You're hyping, yeah, you're adrenaline.
I couldn't go to sleep, but I couldn't lift the paddle anymore. I couldn't walk on my feet. And,
Yeah.
You know that was it.
Yeah, it's when the heart of your feet just get destroyed.
But I could use my mouth.
But
and I just thought like I love this sort of thing, you know. I love to get this sport growing, and all the commentators have done a great job, and I think they were tired as well.
Sure.
So
you helped them come back.
So I just felt like poor Chris was sitting in Australia by himself. They're talking pretty much by himself, and there was only one person awake. That was the judge. I can't remember his name now, but he did a fantastic job. And so I just walked up, and obviously Chris wanted to talk to me straight away. You know what's happened and why. Pretty much what you said.
Yeah.
And I just get into it, and I thought, you know, there's no one talking here, so we might as well continue because we saw how many people was on and asking questions and you know, so
because you can participate.
Yeah.
You know, so well, participate online or in person, hopefully. Yeah. It's not something you have to answer, but any advice for newcomers? I mean, you kind of gave a lot of advice already. Maybe anything you want to add to that? Any of that?
No. There's 3 or 4 things that I'm going to do differently this year.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell anyone because
then
people. I think people have to find out themselves. But it's a great event. You're going to have a great time, and the advice is just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
come and do it.
Yeah, come and do it.
And we have 34 paddlers. That's almost 3 times the amount of people who started last year.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really fun.
There's more people to talk to.
Oh, a lot more people to talk to. Yeah, or get in your way, or create. Oh my gosh. It's 3 days away. It's going to be the 2nd annual Last Paddler Standing. And
but think about how fast the time is going to go. If you have 34 paddlers, and then you take you away, so it's 33 people you're going to talk to. So that's at least.
Did I upset you in this with those last questions? Is that what happened?
So that's at least 33 hours. So if you talk to one person at each lap,
right.
So then you've done 33.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's an idea.
That's an idea. Whatever it takes to get through it, right? So,
whatever it takes. No.
Well, Goran.
See you on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, man. So.
That's kind of